On March 15th, 2023, in the city of Springfield, a mid-sized healthcare provider known as Health First experienced an unexpected and severe system outage. This disruption affected all outpatient services and limited access to patient records. Health First served approximately 300,000 patients annually and employed over 1,200 staff members. The cause of the outage was initially unclear, leading to widespread confusion within the organization. As IT personnel began troubleshooting, they quickly identified indicators of a ransomware attack. The organization utilized an on-premises electronic health record (EHR) system, which was integral to daily operation. This system was configured to handle patient data internally, limiting external access points, but also increasing the complexity of oversight. During the initial investigation, experts discovered that a significant misconfiguration within the firewall allowed for unauthorized remote access to the internal network. Attackers had exploited this vulnerability, initiating a breach that went undetected during the pre-incident monitoring period. The first measurable impact of the attack became apparent shortly thereafter. Within hours of the initial incident, employees reported being locked out of critical systems. Scheduled appointments were canceled, leading to an estimated loss of $250,000 in revenue within the first 24 hours. Alongside financial losses, patient care was severely affected. More than 5,000 patients were unable to access their medical records or receive necessary treatments. The situation escalated further as reports began to surface from users experiencing difficulties accessing online services. Health First's internal communication channels lit up with messages and emails from bewildered staff members seeking clarity on the unfolding crisis. As IT teams tried to manage the situation, a flurry of internal emails illustrated the organization's confusion. Investigators formed an incident response team and set up a dedicated channel to facilitate communication. The team began searching for partial fixes, temporarily redirecting patients to alternative medical facilities. Meanwhile, incorrect assumptions formed about the nature of the attack. Some staff members believed it was a temporary outage rather than a coordinated ransomware operation, leading to delays in critical response measures. External signals began to emerge as users took to social media platforms and health forums to vent frustrations about their inability to obtain timely medical care. Monitoring systems enacted by Health First raised initial alerts about unusual traffic patterns, further confirming the presence of a cyber threat. Lesser-known local media outlets published minor mentions of the incident, framing it as a simple IT failure due to inadequate infrastructure investment. These early reports presented a distorted understanding of the situation and did not fully capture the severity of the attack. As the days progressed, the internal team began to recognize the extent of their vulnerabilities. Security analysts noted a lack of log retention that made forensic investigation difficult. They discovered that key access controls were either absent or poorly managed. In several instances, critical personnel had unrestricted access to sensitive systems, further compounding the risk of exposure. The dependency on a single vendor for EHR updates heightened concern as well. Health First had previously experienced issues with third-party software integration, and there was hesitation to revert to legacy systems to regain control. By March 17, 2 days into the outage, healthcare systems across the region started to feel the ripple effects of the disruption. Some patients, frustrated by their unaddressed medical needs, sought services from competing health providers, leading to an uptick in patient loads elsewhere. Consequently, Health First's market share began to dwindle, causing executives to hold urgent meetings about long-term strategic viability. Internal discussions shifted from merely responding to the incident to addressing implications for their overall business model, which had relied heavily on digital operations. The incident response team attempted to initiate deeper incident containment protocols. They engaged independent cybersecurity consultants to assess the breach and recommend measures for recovery. Preliminary analysis identified that the ransomware was a sophisticated variant known for encrypting not only data files but also backup systems if accessible, which posed a critical threat to data recovery efforts. The presence of such malware indicated a highly organized attack strategy, revealing that Health First was likely part of a larger network of compromised health organizations. Concurrently, external cybersecurity agencies began to take notice of the increasing number of ransomware attacks targeting healthcare providers in the region. Law enforcement agencies initiated their inquiries, looking for connections among the affected entities. A regional task force formed to specifically investigate the escalation of ransomware incidents. Local news outlets picked up the story as patients expressed growing concern over the health sector's ability to safeguard personal information and provide services. By this point, emerging reports suggested that Health First was not alone in
unfortunate struggle. Similar incidents had been documented at neighboring clinics. The evolving crisis prompted the organization's leadership to contemplate a comprehensive investigation into its cybersecurity posture. A call for a full audit of digital infrastructure and processes became crucial. As days turned into a tense week, Health First leadership remained divided on how to proceed. Some advocated for transparency with patients and stakeholders, proposing to openly communicate about the ransomware threat. Others suggested adopting a more cautious approach, fearing reputational damage would deter future patients. Amidst this uncertainty, the incident response team continued to work tirelessly, aiming to contain the attack and restore operations while grappling with the reality of potential data losses, financial penalties, and the lingering threat of future cyber attacks. On March 18th, just a few days into the response, a breakthrough occurred. Cybersecurity experts identified a command and control server associated with the ransomware. The organization had been on high alert for any communication from the attackers. Covertly, they began tracking suspicious activity, hoping to gauge the attackers' intent and demand specifics. Understanding this infrastructure marked a crucial turning point as Health First team prepared to engage with law enforcement in hopes of uncovering the identities of the perpetrators.
The tension lingered in the air as Health First prepared to respond not only to the immediate crisis, but also to the broader implications of their cybersecurity gaps. The investigation continued to unfold, with numerous leads complicating the picture ahead. With the situation still unresolved, staff anxiously awaited the next steps in a challenging battle against the encroaching chaos of cybercrime. On March 19th, the tension escalated as Health First's internal communications began to leak to the press. Reporters highlighted discrepancies in patient management and suggested that sensitive health records may have been compromised. As these stories gained traction, cybersecurity analysts revealed that a significant portion of personal medical data had been exfiltrated before the attack's encryption phase. This revelation fueled public outrage over the provider's lack of adequate security measures, pushing Health First's board to consider immediate public disclosures. By March 27th, reputational damage had escalated. Patients began voicing their outrage on social media, prompting a series of negative articles. Rival health providers capitalized on the opportunity, launching marketing campaigns aimed at attracting discontented patients from Health First. The financial ramifications of this shift in patient loyalty became apparent, with projections indicating a potential 30% loss in quarterly revenue. Legal experts predicted impending lawsuits from affected patients, further stressing Health First's resources. Meanwhile, law enforcement transitioned their investigation from information gathering to active pursuit. Working with federal agencies, they issued subpoenas to trace the ransomware operators and the origins of the compromised data. An emergency press conference was scheduled for March 24th, where Health First leadership sought to regain control of the narrative, announcing their commitment to fortifying cybersecurity measures and working closely with authorities. On March 26th, the aftermath of the crisis deepened. A group of white hat hackers claimed to have deciphered parts of the ransomware's code. They published findings that indicated systemic vulnerabilities within Health First's IT framework. This development reignited public scrutiny as stakeholders questioned how such glaring weaknesses had gone unaddressed. In a series of discussions during the last week of March, Health First executives faced mounting pressure from investors and regulators. The decision to undertake a complete infrastructure overhaul was approved, marking a shift towards advanced cybersecurity solutions and significant investment in employee training programs. By mid-April, as the dust began to settle, Health First announced it would temporarily close several clinics to reinforce their security measures. This service shutdown affected approximately 15,000 patients monthly, amplifying community concern regarding access to healthcare. The investigation's exposure phase culminated in May when a comprehensive report released by security researchers highlighted not only Health First's vulnerabilities, but also a trend in larger healthcare systems being underprepared for such attacks. The report revealed parallel incidents involving third-party vendors contributing to systemic risks that affected a broader network of providers. Ultimately, by June 2023, Health First had managed to restore its IT systems and enforce stronger cybersecurity protocols. However, the damage was irreversible. The provider had lost substantial patient trust, leading to a 40% decline in new patient enrollments. As of October 2023, Health First is in the process of restructuring and actively seeks partnerships with cybersecurity firms to build resilience. Their current operational status reflects a significant commitment to safeguarding patient data, yet reputational scars from the cyber incident remain evident.